Hey, this is just a really quick video on supramaximal eccentrics and how you should apply it to your training. Supramaximal eccentrics is just lowering a weight that you can't lift up, so it's a heavier weight than your 1 rep max. Hence the name supramaximal eccentrics. It is suggested in the research that this method develops maximal strength to a greater extent compared to other methods. Supramaximal training represents the greatest demonstration of our ability to produce peak force. What's cool about this training method is the residual effects are relatively longer than other methods. But when we're incorporating this method into a training plan, it should be done strategically. What exercise is best? What time of the year should this be done? How many times a week should this be done? What type of athletes should be doing this? What about the sets, reps, and the tempo? And I think you can do pretty much any exercise you feel comfortable with. One consideration that should be made is, do you really want to put 120% of your max back squat on your back? There might just be a better alternative exercise than a supramaximal back squat. And in my opinion, a supramaximal hand-supported split squat is just that. Even though it is supramaximal, it is going to be inherently lighter than a back squat. Therefore, it just might be easier to manage in case something goes wrong. But like I said, you really can do any exercise that you feel comfortable with. You can do an RDL, you can do a bench press, though I think a supramaximal eccentric push-up might be better with partners on your back. You could do pull-ups. Nordic hamstring curl is a very popular exercise, and even though that's body weight, it is supramaximal for most people. And when it comes to time of the year, I think this method should be reserved for off-season. This method can make you very sore and be very fatiguing. And doing this 2 times per week seems to be sufficient, though it is going to be dependent on what else you're doing in your sport and your programming. I do think stronger, more advanced athletes are going to get more out of this method. They're going to be more efficient at recruiting those high threshold motor units needed for this type of exercise, and they're going to be more competent performing reps with consistent technique. Now, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong or bad or dangerous about doing this with younger or less trained athletes. They just probably won't get as much out of it for the reasons I just explained. Now, when it comes to the loading parameters, just because you can go up to 140% of your 1 rep max doesn't mean you necessarily need to. For most people, just going a little bit above your 1 rep max, like 110, maybe 120%, is going to get the job done. And what I suggest prescribing is like 3 to 4 sets of 1 to 2 reps with a 6 to 8 second descend. You're going to want the stimulus to be potent but not overly fatiguing. So that's all I have for this video. I hope the information is helpful. Please hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next video.